Yeah. As I was saying, in a list of things that have been long overdue,
Yeah.
this is something that we would regard as an overdue event or function or whatever.
Yeah.
After so many years of creating this platform, who's behind it, things. But today I think it's about high time that we, for a first time ever, be in front of cameras and let everybody know who the other side. You're just keeping it low key. I don't know.
I just love seeing my. I suppose that's the come out and be like from the dusty school and stuff,
Which is rare.
which is rare. And I didn't want to be a wallpaper of anything. I just wanted to push it and see it grow with me being discreet and stuff like that. But apart from the time we met, me and my guy, we were sitting right next to each other in our computer class. So yeah, I think you were on my left and on my right was this fine, very, very, very fine chick, and I was, very, very, very close.
And I remember
to
I
the
was so quiet during those times.
chick. You were very quiet in
I
those
was very
times,
quiet.
and in most cases, I was busy chatting to this one because she was liking my vibe because I happen to be somebody who's welcomed as a funny person, especially when I deal with people that
You're
are
a
seeing me for the first.
distraction in class.
Yeah, they felt like I was a distraction in class and stuff like that. Because, like I said, well, for me, with academics, I don't really have issues with academics. I only have a problem with academics when I have to learn something that I already know. When I'm applying for school, I'm expecting to learn things that I do not know. Now I got into class and I realized that things that are being taught here are things that I knew from primary. So what's the point of me paying attention at the end of the day? So I'm like,
So
rather
you
let me.
decide to turn into somebody who disrupts that class.
Yes, and then I decided to turn into somebody who disrupts the class. I remember there was this other kid, I don't know where he was from, and he was not really familiar with computers and stuff like that. And when he was busy trying to maneuver around the computer, I used to break down and laugh those days. Yeah, I used to laugh. I used to laugh like nobody's business. So yeah, just a little intro. I'm Tshepiso Siko.
But just before you close the intro,
Yeah.
I really thought you were annoying back then. I never thought that we would end up being friends. Because I remember, from where I come from, I've always been that quiet kid,
Yeah.
very observant, then I'm very judgmental, but on a low. There's that judgment whereby, like yours, when you judge somebody else and you laugh at him that he doesn't know how to
Yeah.
maneuver on the computer, you make it public and everybody knows. But with me, I was like, this guy is too disruptive, if I put it. Never thought that, this guy and I can never be friends.
Yeah.
That was a long shot.
Well, with me, when I first saw you, I also never thought we could be friends. Like, never ever ever. We had different vibes. Instead, I was close with the other guy, Tumelopap, if you still remember.
I remember
Yeah, at that time, he was the one that really welcomed me because we somehow clicked because I was very disruptive and he liked the fact that I was disruptive. So we clicked, but life happened.
Yeah, now from what I want to know, because I think today the most important moral of this whole interview,
Yeah.
we're going to be talking too much about business and you being a young person.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I want to do, like I want business. You having so many options. Firstly, you went to school. You went to school to study computers.
Yeah, IT.
IT.
Information
And then once
technology.
you study IT, you realize that they are teaching me things I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
You realize that the things that they are teaching me here are mostly things that I know.
Yeah.
I want to know the turning point of where you decided, now I want to do my own thing,
Well, like I said, personally,
Or has it always been that way? Like have you always felt, I want to be a business person?
yeah, well, personally, like even if
But business people don't believe in school. What do you think?
no,
A lot of them.
I want to get to the bottom of it. Well, right after school, I had intentions of studying media,
Yeah.
but in the faculty of film and television, not as a producer, not as anything, but
As
I
an
wanted to
actor.
be an actor. You get it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be an actor, and I was in a situation where all the faculties that I wanted to do acting at were some type of way closed, or should I say they were filled up. Of course, I remember I had to go to Tshwane University of Technology to pursue a career in acting. And I got there and I was given an opportunity to perform a monologue. That was part of the audition. They asked me to perform a monologue, and I remember.
The thing is that I was not there.
No, you were not there.
I was not there when you had to perform the monologue, but there was a time when I was there.
Yeah, no.
For the results.
When it all started, I took off from Rustenburg with my parents. We went to Pretoria. I was accepted at TUT.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the day I went, I don't know how that happened. Like back then, I was not a Christian. I was not a born again Christian.
Yeah.
I want to take you through the season before I was converted to being the person that I am today. Yeah, back then I was just a young man, and I was eager about being an actor. I was eager about living. I've always wanted to leave my hometown. I've always wanted to leave my hometown and explore life on a different angle somewhere else. But unfortunately, we get to Tshwane University of Technology, and boom, there's a strike. And I'm like, what's happening? Immediately, when we parked the car and we were about to walk into the premises of the school, like of the varsity, there came a crowd of young men holding stones, wearing yellow t-shirts. All of them were armed with stones, like stones. Well, when we got in, we saw a police car, and then we saw the workers of TUT. They were seated on the road, like they were seated.
But it didn't click.
Yeah, it didn't click. We couldn't tell that there's a commotion happening here. So as they were sitting outside, apparently they did not want to labor because there was issues with
their payments. Not during that time of the Fismas for era?
Yeah, I don't remember very well, but it was something to do with that. So these young men are coming all armed with stones. They are coming to throw stones at these workers. So we just got in and we are walking.
Also, it's a commotion between
students and the workers of the varsity. And now I'm there, I'm like, what's happening? And then this ones, when they see these boys, they say, those boys are coming. They start running away. And then I'm here like, what's happening? And at that time, I was with my parents. My mother was still pregnant with my younger brother.
So what was the reaction? That's what I'm curious about.
So when we see these ones running away, we look back, like when we see these boys start throwing stones.
You're in the middle of
we're in the middle of the whole thing. Yeah, no, the car was already parked at the parking.
Okay, yeah.
And we were walking in. As we were about to walk in the gate, that's when the commotion happened.
Okay.
So yeah, cut the long story short, and then we got there, we couldn't continue with what I went there to do. And then we ended up going to Rosebank College because I seriously wanted to leave my hometown. We went to Rosebank College, I did my application, I was accepted, I got a student card and everything. And then we came back home. And then we were given numbers of the accommodations that are available. Okay. We tried calling every accommodation. It was fully booked. Like everything was taken. And I'm there like, what's happening? What's going on? But the most beautiful thing was, we started calling these people on our way back to Rustenburg.
The same
day, and I realized that this thing is not working out. And on the road, that's when I saw a board of MSc Business College, and they were enticing us with the fact that they are giving out tablets for everyone who's going to be studying there.
You don't use books.
Yeah, as much as I actually wanted to be out of town, as much as I wanted to be an actor, as much as I wanted to see myself away from home, I gave it a benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I gave it a benefit of the doubt.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, for the fact that I don't want to stay home, let me just go and rest while studying something so that I don't have mind blocks, so you get it. So that I can be able to reapply better, this time with something that has to do with college.
When I have
qualification like a tertiary level.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, sharp. That's when I came to MSc. That's how I met you, and then everything.
And you know, my story is quite, it's almost similar
Yeah.
in a way. Because with me, I had applied to study law
Yeah.
just right after high school, after my matric.
Yeah.
The thing is that the requirements,
Yeah.
I think it was the EPS score that was required was around 24, if
Yeah.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
In all the universities, from TUT to Northwest University to Limpopo University, I actually applied to 3 universities.
Yeah.
Now,
The same thing.
you know, the same thing, the same thing. Now, here's the tricky part.
Yeah.
I actually beat that score, you know. I won't say how much my APS score was,
Yeah.
but it's above that,
The required score.
the required score.
Yeah.
So I got rejected at Northwest University. I said, okay, it's fine. You know, I've
I
applied,
still have 2
you know, I
options.
still have 2 options.
Yeah.
Then TUT and Limpopo, what they did, they actually raised they raised the
APS.
requirements. Yeah, they raised the requirements, and I was like 2 points short to the standards that they raised to.
Yeah.
So in terms, I remember I went back home, and I was like, I'm not gonna do anything else. Let me just stay home for a year. And
Yeah.
I was prepared to stay home for a year.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, it's fine. But I spent just 1 week at home alone. You know, everybody was my parents were at work, and my little sister at school. My older sister was at college.
Yeah.
Now that's where I felt that whole pressure, cause I was
the
like,
pressure of
I
being
wasn't
alone.
doing anything,
Yeah.
literally anything. I was just
Yeah.
waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping. So I decided, okay, let me just go and find college or something. I can't keep quiet, you know. I can't keep quiet. So that's with me. That's how I got to MSc. If I wasn't rejected at college, I wouldn't have came to MSc.
Yeah.
Now it's fine. You went to study IT.
Yeah. So
How do we reach this point where
the
we are right
turnaround.
now?
Yeah, that's where I'm heading to. And then I told myself that, well, let me study information technology.
Yeah.
While I'm studying information technology, I definitely am going to find.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to find my way into the industry, especially the industry that I wanted to.
Because you've always wanted to be an actor.
Exactly. So I decided that when I'm studying information technology, the only thing that I know about information technology, tell me about any place that they do not need information technology.
No, it's like one of the most important skills,
It's the
especially
most
in
important
this time that we live
at
in
the
right
time.
now.
And back then we were not yet on this
It was
4IR.
not, it was not as hectic as
as it
now.
is now. So tell me about any place where there's no information technology. Nada.
Yeah.
So I knew for a fact that once I gain this information technology skill, one way or the other, this is going to benefit me in the future.
Yeah.
And then we met. When we met, we started having crazy ideas. We went from producing music. We went from being artists. We tried everything. And the only thing that we were lacking was to actually put a price to every skill that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a lot of things that we were doing.
We were doing a lot of things, but we didn't want to capitalize around them. We didn't want to profit from them. We were just showing off our skills, and we didn't really think of making a living out of it. It's something we wanted to be called to come and showcase our talent, but we didn't want to put a price to it. We felt like it's proper for us to be well known in that situation where
Plus
everyone loves you, but you are not making a living from it. That's what happens even today with the local DJs in Rustenburg. I'm sorry to say it, but many people are about pleasing the crowd, are about being called left, right, and center, but they are not gaining anything from it. So
it's like the whole industry.
Yeah, the whole industry, yes.
Music industry is
it's like that.
A lot of people just want to be in front of the crowd.
They just want to be in front of the crowd. They don't really care about making a living from it. So technically, us being entrepreneurs at the end of the day was a very profound thing, because we had to go ups and downs, so many years of tough luck and struggles and everything that we did. But what I liked about us is that we've always known that we want to be entrepreneurs, but we didn't really. We felt stupid to actually let it all out and let people know traditional nation, whatever traditional leadership nation that we did. I remember we had the idea and it was perfect. They liked it and everything, but we just didn't know how to put a price to it.
And we didn't know the funny thing, you know, that's
Yeah.
one thing that I like. Usually we know what we wanna achieve.
And we end
Before
up
we-
achieving it.
Yeah. A lot of times that's as an idea.
As an idea.
That's what we wanna achieve. But we don't know how the steps to actually build up to achieving that.
Exactly.
Which takes me back to now this whole New Inferno TV thing.
Yeah.
You remember with New Inferno TV in college?
Yeah, I think
Because you
that
used
was
to
back
stay
in
behind.
2016.
Yeah, because you used to
back in
stay behind.
2016.
And there's a video that we shot.
Yeah.
Now from there, we started shooting a lot of videos. But the whole idea of New Inferno Television, I personally don't think I've ever imagined that New Inferno TV could be a platform that it is today.
Yeah.
Even you yourself,
We never thought.
we never thought about
We
it.
at that point we didn't think it could be that.
Yeah.
I remember the thing that fueled the fire within us was us walking to another
Yeah.
television station that was also upcoming, and we went there to pitch and no, not an event. We wanted to host a show there, and they told us that we need to pay producers, we need to do this, we need to do that. That is the day.
It was one
For the
of those
fact
beginning-
that these guys are not accepting us on their channel, we are going to be a pain.
while still singing about that same music back in the days.
Yeah.
And I remember the rejection that we got, and then they were like,
Yeah.
they were like, we cannot produce you. We need you to pay a certain fee. to
I
a
remember
producer."
that time we fought for we really fought. Like, I remember fighting those guys like flesh and blood. We sweat, blood and sweat. Because they gave us an ill treatment that day. They gave us an ill treatment, and I remember when we walked out of the studio, I told you, dude, we really need to figure something out for us not to be dependent on these people. If you remember very well.
I still remember, you know, everything that transpired that day, because I was never been as disappointed as I was that day.
Yeah, and seeing the disappointment in your face and everything, I was like, no, man. I'm one person who takes every obstacle as a pivotal point. I take every obstacle to be a pivotal point, to a point where I
Let me just, before you continue, let me just make sure that
Yeah.
I mention.
yeah. So, ladies and gents, like I was saying, my name is Tshepiso Siko. I'm from the dusty streets of Mile Extension. I started my primary right around those areas, and then I went to also middle school, and then I went to high school in Mokwase, JM. I just want to give a shout out to JM because it birthed what I am today. I remember back in school, I used to sell snacks, and they used to call me my friend. I was selling knickknacks, I was selling sweets, I was selling cupcakes, I was selling a lot of things. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always thought out of the box, because back in school, high school, there was a time where there was study time, and at that time I saw that the tuck shop is not yet open, and in most cases it all began with me. I couldn't find anything to eat at that time, and I was like, ish, this is not working out. So it means this is an issue that every learner is having. And I took it upon myself as a guy from Rustenburg, which is far better than where I was schooling when it comes to pricing of stuff and all that. I decided, again, I can see an issue here, and I feel like I can solve it. So technically, after school, the other time I just decided to give it a benefit of a doubt. I left with the bus, I came to town, and then I went to a certain shop that's selling sweets and snacks and whatnot. So I went there, and I bought a packet of snacks and I bought a packet of stock sweets. And then I made it a point that I wake up very early for study period. I remember that time I had to catch a bus at 4 a.m. for me to be there at 5, so that at least when they come to school at
But
6.
why did you go to a school that's like out of your area? That's what I wanna
Well,
understand.
it's something that I've always had in me, especially after middle school.
Yeah.
I felt like, I don't know why I had to feel that way, but I just felt like I don't want to mix with everyone that I grew up with
And it's
anymore.
like you don't like you. So let's say you reach whatever you've always wanted to achieve in life.
Yeah.
Would you actually go back to your community and build it? That's what I want to understand.
That I would definitely do.
Yeah.
That I would definitely do. It's something that I'm hoping and praying for. Every night, every time I kneel down and pray, I just
Yeah.
pray to God that God, give me something. Give me something very humongous to a point where I can be able to go back to my community and give back on another level. Because me having to go back as I am now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm on zero, but I'm not also on hero. You get it?
Now I understand.
Yeah, but in the middle where I am right now, if I could go back home and try to draw others, they're saying that each one pull one and then teach each other skills on how to survive on this lifetime. They are not going to take me serious. Like, if I could go there driving a Bentley, it's going to be a different situation. You get it?
Yeah.
If I go there right now, they'll be like, this one is just taking chances. Because into ideas. Nobody wants to buy into ideas. People love finished products. Nobody wants to know how bread is done. They just want to go to the shop and buy bread.
Which reminds me of the post that I saw.
Yeah.
There were like two stores.
Yeah.
And the other guy was, it was written jobs.
Yes.
And the other one was written how to start a business.
Uh-huh.
And the queue was long
On jobs.
on jobs.
Exactly.
They didn't
So personally, I wouldn't say I hate my community. Just that I felt like not that I'm being proud or something. I felt like I was too big for that kind of environment.
It's not called.
It's not being
you-
proud.
It's not
Yeah,
being proud.
yeah. I
obviously,
just
because-
felt that I'm way too different because I've always been a different species. I've always been a different person, and I've always been the most hated guy in the hood. I've always been the less appreciated. I've always been the guy that everyone finds it lucrative to talk about. Like, I've always been that guy. There was always something about me that could trigger people to say funny things, whether they meant them or whatever. It didn't really matter. But I promise you, I've always been that guy where whatever I do, something had to be said. You understand? So I just felt that no, I'm too big for this area. I'm too big for this community. So rather, I just disappear from this place. Not completely, but for the fact that I went to primary around that area and then middle school around that area, and I'm like, no man, with all the obstacles that have occurred to this point, I actually want to pull away from this thing because I feel like we don't really click, we don't understand. You know that thing where you are busy telling people your dreams and all they do is discourage you.
Yeah, but sometimes, I'm not speaking for anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes for us, I feel like it's a great thing that because for an example, me looking at myself operating very far from where I come from.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something that's environmental to a point whereby it's possible that people don't know how to dream.
Yeah.
You get it?
It's very possible.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable.
And it's
To
normal.
other people, it's acceptable.
It's not. I think it's
not
a
normal.
It's
not
normal.
Not normal.
How
It's
should I-
not normal
how should I put it?
for a
It's-
generation not to have dreams. It's not normal. It's something that the society has made a norm.
Yeah.
It's something that everyone has adjusted to a society type of mentality and decide that they are going to believe in a certain manner.
Yeah.
They just wanna be minorities. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but they just wanna be the minority. Like, it's something that is I don't know, like for an example, we are in Rustenburg. 90% of the youth in Rustenburg are in mining. They are working underground. They do not want to study underground. Who's having a different thought from what they already see happening? They feel like it's impossible and you are crazy. You are
Generational things are,
yeah.
you know, generational problems, generational issues.
Yeah.
Some even result to seeing generational cases.
Yeah.
Most of these things are generational.
Yeah.
It starts way beyond us.
Way beyond.
So, in a society where the only cool people are people who work in mining.
Exactly.
The only guys who get girls in the hood are the guys who work in mining.
Even when your parents reprimand you, they say, look at so and so.
They refer to a person who's like in mining.
In my
business to motivate these kids.
No. They're taking choices. They can't do that. They don't do that.
They
left school and I started living in a different, like that's when I finished my high school and I started meeting people on different aspects. The only time I knew that you can buy a house cash, that was the time. The whole of my schooling life, I knew that you must, they say, you will be working tomorrow and you will take me in your car to your house that you will be paying. You are going to, the way you come late to school, you'll always be late for work. Who said I went to work? A 9 to 5. Why are they teaching us to be people who are going to look for jobs?
You know sometimes people say that slavery, like we are still deep under slavery.
Too much.
Just that it's not that old slavery where we are being beaten by whips.
Yeah, we're no longer there.
It's mental slavery.
Mental slavery.
They know once they enslave you mentally, they channel your mind in a certain way. Then you'll definitely who dropped out of school, now they are hopeless because they think that that's the only way that they can actually make something
make it in life. It goes back to a remark that I forever make with people, that the system was always channeled to destroy us. It came as a package with the system. Actually, we are not really free. We are still not free. We've never been free. We are still in the apartheid era. But this one is
we just have
foolish
options. You know, we just have some options.
Exactly.
But we are not that free.
But to be honest, we are still in the apartheid era. This democracy is something that's on pen and paper. And they are more severe than the oppression that was happening in South Africa. My community. I really love my community. And if I could make it big, that's the first place that I'm going to go back to and make sure that I give out skills, I give out jobs, I do
this vendetta against their communities.
Yeah.
They can actually make it. And a lot of them don't really have desires or interest in going back and actually
giving back.
You know, giving back to that certain community. Now, I want us to, you know, we have a very limited time.
Yeah.
You know, I really wish we could like talk, but then again, you know, next time, you know.
Yeah, we still have some time. The other time, not today.
Now, I want us to talk about this whole situation, you know, because, you know, we've developed this platform, we did whatever we did.
Yeah.
And now there was a time whereby we said, okay, we have established this platform, we have established this business, which is Nudufeno TV, which has been, you know, a very active and, you know, productive platform.
Yeah.
Now there is that point where we say, okay, you take your own path now. We're still working together again.
Yeah.
So now, since we have different interests, because with me, I have zero interest in the government.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, what made you?
Well, with all honesty, this one I'm not gonna take credit for it. I'm gonna give credit to. Man, working with that guy was a very beautiful journey. Like, it's a beautiful journey. Because we haven't parted ways.
Like basically
meeting the guy.
If we look at it like
I give a huge shout out to Mr. Ananias Ndovu. I personally call him the media guru. Because he does everything he says he's gonna do. And he makes sure that he does it. And he makes sure that whether you want to do it or you do not want to do it, he's gonna get it done. He doesn't I'm gonna give credit to that guy because he opened a lot of doors for us. He gave us a different perspective.
Never media people.
We were never media people. We were business guys. We were never media people. but he took us and he nurtured us, and then we join us. Bruh, I don't want to lie to you. For the fact, the reason why I started pursuing government is because we worked with that guy and we saw how much we made money through government.
Yeah, true.
Although it's a drag too. Yeah, it's a drag. It's a drag, but I'm not gonna take credit for it. It's not something that I just woke up and thought about. It's something that I saw happening. And for doors that we never knocked on, and then I'll go and knock on those doors
with
and
a different
product. Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened, and I was welcomed, and I was also rejected.
Okay.
Simultaneously, I was welcomed and rejected. I'm loved and hated.
Yeah, but
wanted and unwanted.
With you, it took that's a lot of drive. Because I remember the first time you spoke about this whole thing of pursuing government.
Yeah.
I remember you were like, I'm busy trying to do whatever, and I was not there. I've never been there. Like, mentally, like I've never been invested in this thing. Because I remember you were like, I've been submitting, I've been doing this. I want us to wake up. If you know, then you could have heard that like this energy, this guy is not there.
No, I realized that this person doesn't believe me. He thinks it's one of
it's not a matter
the situations of building castles in the air.
It's not that situation. Then the only thing that made us also build from New Infinite TV and say we have New Infinite TV, it's there.
It's an umbrella.
Now let's see what we can do on our own.
Just make it.
I think it was the contradiction of interest. Because with me, I was not more into government. I've always wanted to be that person where if I work on a project today, I expect my money before the end of the week.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we're different as people and we do things in a different manner. And we have different emotions, different psychological interests and all that. So I believe, I'm not going to say perhaps I'm too patient. No. Just that I'm one person who I don't really mind.
You are.
Yeah. I would say that perseverance is a matter of success. Perseverance is a matter of success. So I decided that let me just be patient with this whole thing. Because technically, whether I like it or not, money is money. Whether it comes today or it comes tomorrow, what matters is at the end of the day, it's money. You understand? Yeah, so I just thought, no man, let me just go on. Let me just give it a benefit of a doubt and indulge in this industry because I've seen it work before. And I believe that it can work for me as well. Because I've seen it work for Mr. Ndlovu and I was there. What's happening? We're facing a technical glitch.
We need to reconnect the speaker.
Yeah, no, it's alright. Sorry for the technical glitch that we were experiencing. Yeah, like I was saying, I've always.
Just 2 minutes. Let me.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. Like I was saying.
But here's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
I know I'm not showing you anything.
Yeah.
And I'm probably very low right now.
Yeah.
You've always been patient.
Yeah, well,
you have the, that's why I said you had before everything, before, I was the stubborn one.
Yeah.
I've always been like that way. But you've always been patient.
Yeah.
With me, I've never had the patience to, because I've struggled with government. When you're working with Mr. Ndlovu, we always struggled with government.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is not the situations that I want to be in, like, moving forward.
Yeah.
And with you, I don't know what you saw, because you've always had, like, that vision.
Yeah.
You've always, I don't know how you see it. That's, like, a skill that I don't understand.
Well, technically, back in school, I was exposed to tenderpreneurs in most of my life, like, back in high school. Yeah. I was in the same class with this other young man whose father was a tenderpreneur, and back in my hood, in Male Extension, there was this other prominent tenderpreneur. So back in the days, it was flashy, but there's a time, this one from the hood, He's always loved me. So, because I've always had interest, I would go to him and ask him, what are obstacles that occur when you are an entrepreneur? Like you get it.
Yeah.
And then he would tell me that the reason why you can see me buying an M4 and building a house simultaneously, it's not because my business is working out, as in I have a business that's ongoing. I can buy all this from a single project. I'm like, single project? What do you mean? He says, I can get a job, and then when it pays, I can buy an M4 and build a house. That's when I started gaining interest. And I'm like, so how does that work? He says, no.
But you definitely have to go back to your community though. Well, you know, while we are telling that story,
Yeah.
You definitely have to go back to your community.
Exactly.
Because it's the same community that gave that drive to you.
Exactly. So this guy told me, like, he sat me down and he's like, no, being an entrepreneur, you need to risk. You must take risks.
Yeah.
Hey, now I started paying attention. I don't like anything that has to do with risks. Risk.
Yeah.
I paid attention. He says, you get an opportunity that requires 2 million, and all you have is 400,000.
Like that, yours is 400K.
What you have is 400K, but you get a project that's gonna give you 30 million, and you are required 10 million to push the project. All you have is 400K, and you need to get the job done for you to get to the 30 million. Like he made it seem like, have you ever seen mist?
Yeah, mist.
When you're walking in the mist, you can see that there's a white substance.
You can just see here.
Yeah, you see that there's a white substance that's ahead of me. But the more you keep walking, that thing keeps on going further.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
He made me realize that being an entrepreneur is more like that. You'll sit down and say, if I could see myself having 2 million rands, and then you get a job that gives you 5 million, and then you see that no, 2 million was not enough. So it's not chasing ghosts, it's being a dreamer. So I realized that, all right, so this is what you mean. He says, when you start a business, your target can be 2 million. You say, if I get 2 million, I'm okay. And then instead of 2 million, you get 5.
And you see you are
and
not
then you
okay
see
with
that,
that
5 million is very delicious. It's a very beautiful life to live with 5 million. So yeah, technically, the reason the patience came from there, because he started preparing me. Yes, he didn't get on the logistics of how the money
because
comes.
they never
the
do.
track. Yeah, they don't do that. Because they cannot tell you the negativity of what you want to pursue. It's going to discourage you. So it's other people that can discourage you and say, no, you can't do it. Yeah, this thing is difficult, you must go in. No. But he was honest with me that no, this is a very beautiful journey to follow, but you must take risks. Why? It's like walking in the mist. You can see that there's something white, but the more you walk, it goes further. The more you walk, it goes further. You're not chasing ghosts, it's there. But it's up to you how you view it.
And it's up to you
whether you believe on your movement
or not,
or you don't believe in your movement.
Because they don't force you to drive in the mist. You
they
can
don't
just
force
park
you.
your car.
You can sit home.
You can even park your car by the side of the road. And
yes, exactly. So basically, it's how much you value the destination that you are about to reach. That's gonna actually drive you to keep going. So if you really wanna get where you wanna go to, then you don't have a choice. You have to make a way to get there.
And keep pushing.
You keep pushing. So yeah, man, that's it for me.
So how has the journey been, with government? I know how the journey has been. We've spoken for hours.
Yeah, well, with government, I don't want to lie to you. With government, it's a very beautiful journey for the fact that you can make a killing. You can make a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
Although it drags for you to get it, but when you get it, sometimes God can be very merciful and you get it at once, and then you can be able to pursue things that you couldn't have pursued if you got 10K on the day. You understand? It's another thing to get 10K and then use it for your needs now. And it's another thing to get 90K at a go, although you worked for it 6 months ago. It can help you push way further than getting 10K and expecting another one. If you get 10K now, you'll be careless about it. You'll push your basic needs, and then you'll wait for the next one. It comes basic, so that means you're not going to grow, and you won't be able to push.
And one thing about waiting for money, for an example, it builds you, and it teaches you the respect.
It teaches you
whatever
the respect,
comes your way.
responsibility, and then it gives you time to think that for the fact that I can wait for this money for 9 months. When I get it, what is it that I'm gonna do different for the next 9 months to be far better than what I'm feeling now? You understand? So yeah, well, personally, I feel like working with government has been a very beautiful thing. Although you have people hating on you, you have people ill-treating you, you have people making it their mission to destroy you. It depends on your personality, after all. It depends on whether are you a rabble-rouser, or are you just somebody who's motivated, or are you someone who's both at the same time? So with me, I'm both at the same time. I can be a rabble-rouser, but I'm very driven and I know what I want. But if you want to pick up a fight with me, I'm going to give you a fight. But if you want to work proper with me, I'm going to give you a proper job.
There's one thing that's very interesting, and that's one thing that I like about you, how you are so outspoken about what you believe in and your religion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to get to that in a minute. We'll definitely get to that after this one.
Yeah.
But here's a question that I want to ask, because everybody is definitely wanting to ask this question if they had the opportunity. Who did you pay to get into government? I'm not saying you paid somebody. I think I should rephrase the question to put it better. Well, can you get into government without actually paying off somebody, without actually knowing somebody within the government? Is it possible to get into?
It's very possible.
Yeah.
It depends on who you are and what are the obstacles that you face.
Yeah.
How I got into government, it's a very funny story.
Yeah.
So it was just a normal morning. I woke up to a very normal morning. I was broke at that time. And then I get a call, just like my phone is ringing now. Somebody called me and was like, dude, where are you? I'm like, I'm home. He says, can you come and work at Kabano Hall? Today we are having a memorial service of an ANC, whatnot. We are paying you today. How much would you want? And I'm like, please give me 6K. Yeah. At that time, all I asked for was 6K.
That was the only money you needed. The money that you never had.
It's the money that I never had, and I felt like this was God giving me manna from heaven. Yeah. Okay, fine. So I get on this deal, and I got there and I started working. Only to find out that this guy is somebody who's been rendering this service at the municipality.
Oh, the guy?
But yeah, the guy who called me, I was not called by the municipal director of the office of the speaker and whatnot. So I believed him. It's okay. Since I'm getting a call from this dignitary for me to come and render my service, and for the fact he told me that he got my number from a very close businessman friend of mine, Donald, the owner of Kings and Queens. Yeah. And I'm like, no, Donald cannot lead me astray. And Donald told this guy that, hey, chief, I know you have tendencies of robbing people. The person that I'm giving you right now is very, very, very streetwise. He's business-wise. He knows things. He's worked in, hey, don't take chances here. And then,
he wants his money. You don't want problems.
He wants his money. Just give this boy his money. I trust him. I've worked with him. Yeah. He's done a good job and whatnot. And then that's what he told me. Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. I got there. I did the job. Perfect. Everyone was happy. I was alone at that time. I went there alone. I set up everything. I did everything on my own. I was alone. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
But everyone was giving me praises. Everyone was happy. They were praising the guy. Hey, you did a good job. But in the midst of my conversations with this guy, I started sensing
red flags.
yeah, red flags. I just felt that this guy is too conniving. He started flashing around. I have so many cars here. You see that H1, you see that bike, you see that. I'm like, wait.
You've never even cared about.
I don't want anything that has to do with that. Nothing. Your H1 is not gonna help me with anything. I want just me, my money. I go home. Yeah, and then he started telling me how much we are going to work together. He likes my spirit, and then he sees that I'm a young man. He wants to groom me. I'm like, hey, another one. I know this story is a story for another day. And then we did the job. After the whole thing, now when I'm supposed to get my money, this guy says he's waiting for the mayor and the municipal manager to come and bring the cash. It's past 6. I'm like, Chief, what are you saying? He says the mayor and the municipal manager are at the municipality. They are calling service providers for them to bring them a certain amount because they've been giving them projects. So it's giving back time so that they can be able to push this. I'm like, wait.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. It's 6 now, and you're telling me the mayor is at the office. What time does the municipality close? It closes at 5.
Yeah.
Little did he know that I know the municipal manager and I have his number. And when I say no, I mean no. Like we know each other on a very, very on a personal level, very close relationship. Because wow, it's a very close relationship. So he's busy telling me these stories, and then I took my phone and called the municipal manager.
Because I know you wanna know.
Hey, I wanna know. Yes, how are you? No, I'm alive. We've been waiting for you for a very long time now. We've been waiting for you for a very long time. Where are you waiting for me? No, we are here in Klabanese.
Why are you waiting?
Why are you waiting for me? No, you are supposed to bring the money so that I can be paid. What money? No, I'm with this other guy called so and so, and then he says no, and then he says no, that guy doesn't work there. He's a service provider. Go and give this certain lady. Look for a certain lady. He mentioned him. He mentioned her by the name, and then I started looking for that lady, and I gave her my phone. And then when she saw that I know the municipal manager, things turn around. She personally took it upon her shoulders to make sure that I get my money. And at that point, that's when she knew that this guy is not really working with me. He even wanted to rob me. This whole time, everybody thinks we are working together. Okay. Now his way, I want to credit this guy for introducing me. That you had to go through what you went through, because now you are the one doing the job and you are very young. So these people are taking an advantage of you. Yeah. Let me take your number and also take mine. Text me, remind me, come and see me on Monday. Do you have a company? I'm like, yes. At that time, I do not have a company. I'm like, yes. Are you in CSD? I'm like, yes. When I left when I left the place, the first place I stopped at was ABSA to deposit the money for CIPC. I registered my company. Within 2 days, it was registered. I started searching for CSD. I got registered for CSD. When I went to meet her, everything was sorted. So personally, it is possible for you to enter the municipality, the government sector without paying anybody. It is possible. It depends on circumstances. It depends on your approach to everything. Well, for me, I'll believe that it's God. It's nobody else but God. Because it was through an obstacle that I managed to actually maneuver into this government sector.
Yeah, well, still talking about it is God, because that's what I wanted to talk about. And I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Christianity these days has turned into something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally love Christianity, but seeing a young person like you, a young person in business who's making money, still talking about God.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that's rare. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to say you have a religion? Because there's like a lot of things,
Yeah.
How big of a role would you say your faith played in everything that has transpired throughout the journey and everything?
Well, honestly, Christianity is everything I've ever known in my whole life.
And also, you know, you
Yeah,
introduced me
I
to.
grew up, like it or not, you will wake up in the morning and go to church. It's a thing, I wouldn't say, had it not been for the fact that my parents never introduced me to Christianity, I wouldn't be as a Christian that I am right now. Because the time I started taking Christianity very serious, I was independent. I had already left home. I was already in town, staying in town with y'all guys. That's when we started. And just another story. But we gave it a benefit of a doubt. We went there. We went to church and then we started praying. And then we started seeing that no. Yes, the word of God works.
One thing that's like gonna haunt me for a long time if I don't talk about is the whole fact that you remember that time when you started working on that project.
Yeah.
Remember, I've never been too much of a Christian and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, I've always thought that, you know, this churches, I just gotta be careful of these churches because I was about this kind of churches. So I was like, I'm very skeptical about this church because you remember even the first time that we went to church, you had to lie to me because I was very skeptical.
Yeah.
And then you had to lie to me somehow to get me to church. Then I went, but from there I've always felt like, you know, this church is okay. You know, because maybe it's because I experienced it myself. I was never, you know. So I remember that day, we definitely lost hope because we had been working for a long time. And we have been working on this system, trying to develop this system. And now that we have it, these people now are starting to give us problems that we don't understand. You know, problems that we don't understand. And remember we went to church on that day. And we went to speak to, you know, the prophet, the overseer of the church that we go to. And I remember how he told us that, you know, don't worry, it is done. You know, we were very worried. And at that time,
he was smiling.
He was simple. Like,
I'm like, yeah. Why did we come here?
I remember how everything was very simple.
Very simple.
He just said, don't worry, it is done.
And then he said, repeat after me.
You know,
he told us to say,
you know,
we are victorious. And then we said we are victorious. And then he smiled. And then he says it is done.
It is done. And I remember because that time I would say we were still kids in the faith. Yeah. You know, like there are stages. So that time we were like, you know, this guy, we are having these big problems. Like this project can actually change our lives.
And all he says is
it's done. You know, imagine saying it's done. So I remember that day, you know, I know, like Goris watching and everything. Yeah. And I felt like, you know, this project that definitely we have lost this one. Yeah. It's fine. Let us just like count our losses and everything. Yeah. But how everything turned out. Like honestly, I won't lie. I was going to church. I was doing everything, but that was the turning point for me. Yeah. For me, like that was the turning point that this guy took this whole thing this simple, and then he realized how relaxed we were handling this whole situation. That's where when I felt like, you know, this guy knows something that I don't know. Yeah. So I want whatever he's on. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. So technically, well, with me, I've always had a relationship with God. Yeah. But it's getting more intense by time.
You know,
every time I pursue Him, I get an obstacle that's way bigger than the past one. And I've now realized that people who forever said there's light at the end of the tunnel, they actually know what they are talking about. I mean, in everything, even science has proven that we cannot have a line until we have agreement between two dots. For you to have a line,
remind me of Leloy.
Exactly. You cannot have a line until you have an agreement between two dots.
True.
For you to have a line, you must place your pen and then put it here. Where it ends, it's another dot. If you put a dot here, it's not a line. If you put a dot and they don't agree, it's not a line. Yeah. So technically, if you are a human being, I mean, I've bought a lot of things, and everything that I've ever bought comes with an owner's manual. So you know that the Bible is the owner's manual for a human being? When we buy these cameras, they come with an owner's manual. When it starts giving you a problem, where do you refer? To the owner's manual.
Yeah, true.
You cannot go to a phone dealership and take a camera. You cannot take your camera to someone who deals with phones, or to a car dealership. A car mechanic, you want them to diagnose a camera.
True.
So technically, I believe in God because even today I still don't understand the substance that made trees, that made the sand. I don't know how the sun is consistent about rising this side and setting this side. I've never seen it rise this side and set this side or the other.
Everything is in order.
It's in order. So why would I doubt that there's a God somewhere seated and ruling over us? Why would I doubt that there's God? And then the Bible says the steps of a good man are ordered. So I've seen myself entering in premises that I wouldn't all by myself enter and knock.
You never thought that
I never thought I would go there. I never